Good morning, everybody.
Hey.
My name is Wade. This is
I'm Eric.
Jensen.
Not Andrew today.
Not Andrew.
No.
Why is Andrew not in the pre-service?
We fired him yesterday. It's very sad. No, Andrew's preaching today. We're very excited about that.
Yeah, we are.
And I don't have a job because, somebody's leading worship today. So we figured
we have some...
Might as well get your, some use out of me while I'm here.
Yeah, figured. Earn your keep.
Yeah. At some point, I should
At
do
some
that.
point. It would be a good
still
thing.
Waiting.
Well, welcome everybody to our live stream this morning. Thanks for being with us on the pre-show. Like Eric was saying, we got a great service planned for you this morning. Pastor Andrew is continuing our Helpless series, When the Culture of Self-Help Hurts.
Yeah.
He's looking at what mantras are we looking at?
He's got toxic people. Eliminate toxic people from your life.
Yeah, surround yourself with positive people.
Yeah. That concept there. So I hear that a lot, like, oh man, this relationship was toxic. So I'm kind of interested to hear what his
when they're talking about you.
His deep. Yeah, usually it's like I can't hang out with you anymore because I read this book and now we're not friends anymore.
Now we're not. No.
Who we got on the old Faceagram?
On the old Faceagram.
What's up, Facebook and YouTube?
Tommy Boy's here.
I don't have a device.
Hilda Wood is joining. Merrick Kowalski is joining. Barbara Mangai. We got Megan Joyce McNutt. We got Sherry Pepin. Man, Greg Huff. All kinds of people.
Andrew's even here. Man,
Andrew's even here.
You're here, dude. You're here.
Joining the live stream.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Well, it's really I'm actually kind of nervous about being on the pre-show.
Yeah?
Because I've done it. I've not done it from this chair before.
No.
In fact, I don't think I've done anything from this seat.
It's pretty nerve-wracking.
It feels like a whole new experience.
You have big socks to fill.
Big socks to fill. And you know what? I failed you, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. That's the other one. Because I'm not even wearing socks today.
Man. So your sock segment is naked feet.
It's exposed ankles. That's what we got going on. Smelly feet, yeah. So, but I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited that you are here.
It's gonna be good.
Happy post Canada Day. And post America Day.
That's true. We have two Americans doing the.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to say the Pledge of Allegiance?
We are proudly American, but we also proudly live in Canada too. We like this place.
Yeah.
So we celebrate both.
We do.
It's cool. It's a good few days for us because we get to celebrate both.
Well, yeah. I like that they're so close together. Yeah. It's kind of like the fact that I get two Thanksgivings. We get two barbecue firework days.
Yes.
And we get two Thanksgivings. Being
That's
American
such a good point.
In Canada has its perks.
It does. The two Thanksgiving things is pretty rad.
Yeah, you definitely get judged when you say things like y'all, but at the same time you get two Thanksgivings.
Y'all.
So, y'all. Did y'all put that poll in?
Or when you show up with like the big casseroles as an American,
they
Thanksgiving,
don't do
they're like,
they don't do the casserole thing.
Yeah, they think that we eat a lot, but we do, and we don't care.
Speaking of eating a lot, we got a Pies for Pastors segment today.
We do.
That I'm excited about. I actually accidentally got a little sneak peek in the fridge.
What?
I didn't mean to, but I was trying to get a water and I saw. So we got some good looking pies today.
Some good looking pies.
I'm very excited for that.
Oh man, it's gonna be a lot of eating.
It is.
After a couple days of eating.
That's true.
Yeah. Man, I actually got out and played golf for the first time this weekend, this season.
How'd it go?
They've opened up the golf courses in the season of life that we're in. Everything's a little different, but it was good. It was fun. I was terrible, which isn't much different than normal, but I feel like every season I progress a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
But it was the first time playing. Hadn't swung, no driving range. Hadn't swung a club since last year. So
in a while.
First time was the first tee this year.
It's like a whole round of it's like a mulligan round, I think, is how you take that.
Yeah.
You just sort of go, you know what? This doesn't count. This doesn't count. And,
mulligan round.
Yeah. Well,
I think for the first 6 times you play, it should be mulligan round.
I've been on the first 5 years of playing golf. I've been on
the first 5 years
golf.
is a mulligan. I like that. Could that be for life too?
I mean, it kind of is. Like,
Should
what
we
do you
just
expect from
have
a
a whole
4-year-old?
mulligan year? Shouldn't 2020 just be a mulligan year?
Yes. This might be the greatest idea you've ever had. Let's just skip it. Let's just do 2020 again and be like, hey, this is,
We take a mulligan for 2020.
asterisk the whole thing. That way we don't have to screw up the Stanley Cup and the what else do people watch? I don't watch sports. What's the
I feel
Super
like
Bowl
all
trophy?
the sports are.
Vince Lombardi, the Lombardi trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could just skip it.
Yeah.
Just do 2020 again.
Yeah, we should.
It's a great idea.
I got Hilda Woods here saying Robert
Hilda!
Wood really enjoyed playing golf with his buddy Andy Hardy yesterday. I know. I called Andy Andy and Rob were actually going to be my first 2 calls to play golf.
Wow.
And yeah, sorry, Dave and Yari. I love you both, but we just were sitting around. We were like, oh,
you didn't call me at all.
No, we didn't think about you.
Wow.
Because we knew that
I was busy. Go ahead, keep going.
And Andy was like, I'm already playing golf with Rob, and you're not invited. And I was like, okay, it's fine.
Isn't that tough when you're like you want to hang out with your friend and they're already doing something with a friend that's cooler than you?
Yeah, happens a lot.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
'Cause I'm friends with Andrew, and he always
I
thinks he's
get that a
cooler.
lot.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we want to just this is the pre-show. We're goofing around. We're just chit-chatting. We're hoping that you guys are engaging each other in the chat. We also want you guys to like and subscribe and go ahead and share the stream so that everybody in your circles can check out, join with us. So make sure you guys do that. And like I said, we kind of envision this as like, you remember when we used to actually meet together for church? Remember that?
Sort of.
Sort of, yeah. Okay, so we had this thing where we used to have coffee in the lobby, and we would just chit-chat with our friends.
It was nice.
And it was nice. It was one of my favorite parts. And so that's kind of what we're hoping to emulate here a little bit.
Coffee from Butter and Cup at
I
Mayfield West.
got a coffee today.
So good.
So
good. We got the best coffee out of all the campuses, by the way. Apologize. But it's just
I don't
the
know.
truth.
I mean, Folgers is pretty good.
Yeah. Everyone right now who knows anything about coffee is shooting you over their TV screens.
It was a joke. But we kind of went back and forth. We had Monogram coffee for a while, which is I would put up against your Butter and Cup coffee. It's pretty good.
No.
Roasted in house.
No.
It's pretty good.
No.
All right, let's make this a thing. Bet.
Who are these pastors? I have not heard yo yet.
Yo.
Yo. Is that enough?
Yeah,
Jen Bryant. Come on. Hey, Victoria, who has the cool socks? We already talked about this, Victoria. You got to tune in right at 10 a.m.
Yeah. I'm sockless. I've failed
Eric
you,
is
Internet.
He's rocking the naked feet today, and we're gonna see how that works.
Yeah. So we're hoping that.
But Andrew still has some cool socks on, and you're gonna get to see those.
Do you want
sometime the post service?
I forget what we decided.
Pre-service, post-service.
Come, get on in here. Get on in here, buddy.
We do. We'll give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want.
The show must go on. And we got this is an incredible sock moment. Historic,
it is.
in fact.
Wait.
Here we go. If you can't see what that is,
look at
those
socks.
This is the cute, the adorable, the stupendous.
The Winona socks.
Winona.
Happy Father's Day to Andrew Wood, because they go with the mug. So Ashton got him these socks with the cute Winona face and with the mug that he was supposed to rock this morning, but he accidentally rocked at communion on Thursday. He's going to rock it this morning as well.
He's got it.
But by his wife.
Thanks for showing off your socks.
But look at that mug.
Victoria is very happy to see the socks today. There's
Winona
the mug.
is is that say
Dreamer?
What was the
For dreamers.
is for dreamers.
Winona is for dreamers. That's got to be a Winona Lake, Indiana. Yeah, Winona. For those of you who don't know, Ashton hails from a place in northern Indiana. Well, she's actually from Warsaw, I think, but right? She lived in Winona Lake. Yeah. Well, it's the whole. Yeah, Winona Lake, Indiana, whatever. Anyway, that's where she got that, and it is a place for dreamers. That's true.
A place for dreaming of cornfields.
It's There's a lake there.
Yeah,
there is a lake.
There's lots of
They
cornfields.
put it in the name.
And lakes.
Anyway.
Yeah. But you're from Ohio, so you're kind of biased. You probably are going to talk up Ohio a bit more than Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, there's like viewing
honest.
corn. There's like corn that you would plant just for the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
And then there's corn that people actually eat. Mostly it's just viewing corn. We just watch it because we don't have TV, so we just watch
in
the
Ohio?
corn. Yeah. We just watch the corn move. That's what we do for fun. We
Nice.
just hang out.
Nice. Bonita Jones is saying happy birthday,
Honey.
Lisa. Happy birthday, Lisa.
Hi, Bonnie and Barry. We're so glad that you joined us today.
Yeah. Bonnie and Barry just raised the responsibility level of our church in general.
They give us a lot of cred.
Like, they're like,
for being awesome.
this church hires a bunch of yo-yo pastors, Jen Bryant. So we feel like we have to put a little bit more credibility, a little more responsibility in the mix.
They bring it.
So we need to connect ourselves with Barry and Bonnie Jones.
Barry's the best. If you don't know Barry Jones and his wife Bonnie, you need to meet them as soon as COVID
Barry
is over.
Jones. That's the coolest name ever, too. Barry
is.
Jones. Barry Jones.
It's a good name.
It is a good name. I like that name. Michelle Leroy, good morning.
Good morning.
What's up? We got Ashton Wood, Winona. Hi, Daddy. Where go?
Winona
Where
says
go?
hi.
Where'd you go, Daddy?
That's really sad.
It is sad. Sorry, Winona, that
Yeah,
you're not
he's here.
able to. You will. He'll be on the screen
And you'll
in
be
a few
sick of him
short
in it.
moments.
Yeah, you'll be sick of him by the end of that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I will.
Man. Well, did you? So I had a pretty cool 4th of July yesterday.
You did?
I did. In fact, let's pull this pic. I just wanted to.
Ooh,
I was
this pic is.
I was really vibing.
Awesome.
You know, really vibing my 4th of July
You were.
feelings.
Look at that.
Look at that. That's me. That's at about 7 a.m., 8 a.m. And I had started my pork
we
butt.
just gotta hold it there for a minute. We gotta talk about it. We got the whole kit and
Can you
caboodle.
zoom on that? Can you zoom in on those socks real quick? I got pre-service socks for you. Here's some pre-service socks right here. Those are American flag socks on with sandals.
With the sandals, the socks with the sandals. You're
Dad move.
quickly moving into, even though you're a younger dad, you're quickly moving into just the plain old dad mode with the socks and flip-flops.
The socks and slides. Look at that.
Yeah.
Doesn't that just make you want to just let freedom ring right there? Let freedom ring.
Man.
And I got
what
some. That's North American white oak that has been split in season and ready for barbecue smoking pleasure. And that is my beautiful, amazing hat. I mean, wife. No, I'm just kidding. My wife is there. She's amazing.
Rocking it's got that she's got
so
that
cute.
like Little House on the Prairie vibe a little bit going on.
Yeah, okay. Growing up homeschooled, she takes that as a massive compliment.
A massive compliment.
Yeah. That's so that was what I was doing yesterday.
Thank you for confirming all of the American stereotypes that Canadians believe about us.
Yeah.
Appreciate
guess
it.
which one of those two people is pregnant? That's what you play it. Let's play a game. Go ahead in the chat. You can guess.
Pregnant
which one
with
of
the
those
miracle
two.
of a child or a food baby. Which one?
Anyway, okay, all right. Now I'm getting self-conscious. Oh, there you guys are making fun of my belly.
Zoom in right.
Eric Russell.
Oh, man.
He has too much power. It's gone straight to his head. Oh, man.
It's amazing.
How are the YouTube going? How are those YouTube peeps hanging out?
Oh, yeah, we're bumping over to
That's my grill.
YouTube. Donna Brooks practiced at the golf range before heading out first. I don't know if she's saying she did that or I should do that. Donna, just if I did it, it still won't help.
Yeah,
that's how bad I am.
No matter, that 10,000 hours thing. It breaks down when you talk about
golf is one of those
golf.
things that teaches you that you don't really have to be great at something to love it, because you can love something but yet still be terrible, and that's golf for me. Yeah. I love it, but I'm terrible at it.
That's everything. I'm not.
It's a lesson for life. It's a lesson for life. Eric, do you have any Canadian apparel?
I do. I didn't wear any. I have some Canadian socks.
Yeah?
I have some Canadian socks. I got a Canada Day shirt. We got
Nice.
a Canadian flag. I was rocking on Canada Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wore Canada
Yeah.
Day. Yeah.
Boom.
There you go.
Boom.
I wore
In
Canada
your eye,
Day
whoever that
shirt.
was.
We actually all of my kids wore Canada Day shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're Americans that do it legit.
Have you ever been to Canada's Wonderland?
I have not.
I have not either.
But my wife and my kids have.
Oh, okay. I
But-
hear all you Canadian friends out there have kind of talked up Canada's Wonderland, and I just don't think it would beat Cedar Point. But I can't.
Cedar
I can't-
Point.
I can't.
Have any of you on the live stream been to Cedar Point? I would like to know. Andrew Wood has been to Cedar Point. Cedar Point
okay,
is a
you've been to
magical
both.
place.
So Andrew Wood
I
says
beg to
that
differ.
Cedar Point
Sorry,
is
Canada.
wildly more successful, more attractive, more fun. It's
Cedar
better
Point-
in every way.
Well,
Benson
it
is
all
lying.
depends on
They're
why
the
you
same
go
theme
where
park, couple different rides.
No, Cedar Point is the roller coaster capital of the
It is.
world.
Well,
Thank you
that
very
means
much. And so
Wonderland's
it
pretty
all
good
depends
better.
on why you go. So like my wife, she much prefers like Disney because
Yeah.
she's not into the whole roller coaster
More
thing.
theme park.
Yeah, right? But if you want roller coasters,
Yeah, if you just want to straight ride coasters
Yeah.
all day long, there is nothing
So a
better.
story about Cedar Point is I actually rode my first roller coaster when I was, I think, 7 at Cedar Point. I just reached the height marker for like the really tall ones, and it was the Millennium Force.
Formerly the tallest and fastest ride in the world.
Yes.
Formerly.
Well, because they keep building
Well,
taller
then
ones.
it was succeeded by Top Thrill Dragster, which is also
Yeah.
at Cedar Point. And now
That was a great ride.
that was a great
Or
ride.
maybe
That
it
was
was.
the only standout
Maybe it
ride
was the
there.
Magnum. Maybe it was the Magnum.
Yeah, I don't think you would have been too
I'd
young
have been
because
too
that
young.
came out 2000.
Yeah, when
you're
the
old.
Magnum. Yeah, maybe
So-
it was the Magnum because Jason Deray says I was there when the Magnum was.
And the
brand
Blue
new.
Streak, was one of the ones that was like the one that you could ride. It was like the
It was
really
totally,
first
again,
big ride.
keeping into the American stereotypes because you could actually give people high fives on the roller coaster going by you. It was
Really?
the tandem, yeah.
Ooh, I
Nothing
think they did away
dangerous
with
about that at all.
I think they did away with that when
Nothing
some guy
dangerous about
got on
that
with
at
a
all.
brick.
It was one of those old wooden rickety roller coasters, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the two coasters,
They do.
They
They
pass
go
each
very
other,
close
and
to
if
each other.
you're, if you can reach just
Yeah.
far enough, you can hit
I
the
believe
people's
it.
hands. It was quite
Amen.
amazing.
Nobody cares about Cedar Point,
No.
although it is great and you should go
No, you should go.
when you
But
can.
we're talking about like
I know,
Canada
this
Day
is-
and American Day, and what's more, like
This is what-
celebrating the foundation of two great countries by
Yeah.
riding roller coasters and the freedom that you can have.
Yep.
Anyhow, do we have more Renew at Home
We
stuff?
got some Renew at Home stuff. Go ahead and roll a few of these. We got some
Got
good picks that
some Renew groups.
some
Go-
yeah. We had this was
Ooh, it's-
I think the Bryants.
Communion.
They made their communion
Look
little
at that.
setup
Is
there.
that banana bread?
I don't know.
Looks
I thought
like
it was
good.
meatloaf actually until
that's
and
some
I'm
good,
just now realizing that it was bread. So don't ask me because I clearly
Yeah?
can't see.
Because that's
looks
that's a
good.
good communion setup.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, this got like
Did you-
oats on the top.
Did you
and-
eat that for the bread in the cup, or is that snacks?
That looks like I'm gonna go ahead on a limb. Jen, you can tell us if we're right. That looks like artisanal sandwich bread.
artisanal sandwich
Like
bread.
7 grain.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I like your on point artisanal.
Artisanal.
Nice.
Well, you don't want any
nice.
run of the mill sandwich bread.
Hey, there's Elijah celebrating communion.
Yeah, for those of you
The
who
way
are
he
watching
knows
on
how.
YouTube, which was all of you at one point, Elijah was he was doing Mountain Dew for his bread in the cup service, which while not necessarily recommended as best practice, does work in a pinch. So thanks
Yeah.
Elijah for participating.
Gives you
it was fun.
to keep you awake during communion.
You know what though? Hey, kudos to him. Young people joining in our communion services.
Yeah.
That is awesome and should be celebrated. You want to
should
drink
be
Mountain
celebrated.
Dew? More power to you, my
More
friend.
power to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Got some renewed groups looking
Yeah.
like they went to a park.
Lemuel and Esther.
Look
hanging
at that.
out. Oh, nice.
Again, not invited, which I feel a little sad.
What
that
do they
looks
got? What's
amazing.
under the
Fried
tinfoil?
chicken, maybe?
Can't
Chicken?
see. It
looks
does
great.
look fantastic.
So,
oh, the
if you
zooming
want
on
to
the
join
food.
their Renew group, you can email Wade at renewchurch.ca, and he'll get you in contact
Yes.
with them as a Renew group leaders so that you can join in their next one.
Fantastic. Getting out and enjoying the sun.
Feeding people to Jesus.
Feeding people to Jesus.
I love that.
I do too. Hey, this is Jason and Denise Gervais' backyard, I believe.
Yep.
And hanging out watching the live stream with some Renew Group members.
Some
Watch
social
party.
distance watch party.
Yeah.
You, too, can host a Renew Church watch
Yeah.
party just like this.
All of our church members should be taking their lead and doing this.
Look at how easy that was. Little screen, probably a computer. Or
Setting
maybe
up
just
in the backyard,
easy.
inviting the appropriate number of people to your backyard, and watching the live stream.
What a great way to
How would
take
you?
the weirdness of watching church in your living room and make it feel a little more like
Seriously, who would
joining the
not
body of
want to
Christ.
do this?
That's awesome.
I want to do this.
Yeah,
I
I'm not coming in next week. I'll be honest.
Hey,
gonna
is
go
that
to their
somebody
watch
making a live edge table?
This does. I think that we have a completed version of this as well, or
Who
in
is this
process.
again?
I think this is Victoria.
Victoria.
Victoria,
Look at that,
she's handy.
man.
Look at that. That looks good.
you could sell that.
So, yeah. So in the chat, if you want to consign to commission a bench,
Yeah,
Victoria might be able to help you out. That looks beautiful.
it does look beautiful.
And
oh,
that's
that's
what
where she lives now.
I know. That's
Man.
the only problem. You have to go all the way to Wasaga Beach and hang out.
Can we move all of Renew Church to a beach?
We do. We do
Was
that.
not.
Typically, we do a little Wasaga Beach Day, and we didn't.
That
this
was
year.
not Pastor Barley's pointing out that was not Canada Day.
No.
Because are you saying because there'd be a bit more people in that picture?
Yeah.
Jason Gervais, the backyard is always open.
There you
Thanks,
go.
Jason. Also, Jen Bryan's making a comment. She noticed she was peeping the Lysol wipes in that picture. Just keeping it fresh,
Yeah. Lysol wipes.
keeping
That's a
everything
hot commodity.
properly disinfected
It's a hot
for
commodity.
the live stream backyard events.
Yeah.
They are a hot commodity. You remember when everything first started? I would go shopping for my groceries and my supplies, and I would look for certain items. And because
Flour,
a bit hysteria was happening,
Toilet
certain items
paper.
were hard to find,
soap,
and people were fighting over like Lysol wipes.
Lysol wipes.
Like I went to Walmart once, and they literally had to have a worker in the Walmart line handing out the bottles, the cans of Lysol wipes to people one at a time because people were like just going
Hoarding.
and scooping up a whole bunch.
Yeah.
It
Luckily,
was probably, I think I saw Denise doing that once.
wow.
Just
Calling
kidding.
her out.
I'm just kidding, Denise. I'm just kidding.
No, that didn't happen.
You
But
only took 5.
I like how we've matured so much over this quarantine. We've
Yeah,
kinda
you can
got this
actually
thing
find
locked down.
toilet paper now when you go to the store.
We could be
Or ordering
quarantined
that.
forever. Speaking of quarantine, we had a young guy here who he feeling a little lonely, feeling like
Yeah.
feeling the quarantine a little bit. Check out this video real quick.
Nice.
Hey, made some new friends today, literally.
Oh, yeah?
This one's Bob, this one's Joe, and this one's Phil.
What's up, Phil?
Hey, made some new friends
Look at
today,
that.
literally.
The Buellers are so cool. They're all just
Yeah.
the Bueller family is just
That's Kai.
yeah.
That he's the son of Nathan and Carolyn.
Yeah. And who wouldn't think, or who wouldn't think? You would think that if anybody was to make up friends and be able to build them,
It would be Nathan.
It would be Nathan Bueller's offspring.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like
there we have
just
it.
taking matters in your own hand. Maybe you're having to be socially distanced from some
Yeah.
friends, and you're gonna make your own. I
Yeah.
like the initiative.
I don't even have imaginary friends, so it's kind of sad. But
It's
yeah,
kinda
that's
sad.
awesome. Do
What
we
are we
have any
doing?
other Renew at Home stuff that we missed? Okay, we're good. All right.
No
that's
more?
awesome.
This is amazing, Victoria. Gorgeous. I love living. I love.
Live edge.
I
furniture.
love living. I love
can get there. You
live
can do it.
edge wood furniture. Fantastic work. Great work.
It is.
Denise is shouting out Victoria's work on the
some-
live edge work.
Yeah, there's
Even
some
though I can't read.
beautiful
And I messed
joinery.
that comment up. I apologize.
That's good.
But so this morning we have again the self-helpless when The culture of
Self-help.
self-help hurts, and
Yep.
Pastor Andrew is continuing our series in just a few minutes as we start our service.
Yep.
So please be sharing the stream on Facebook, YouTube. Like and follow our Facebook page if you have not. Like and follow our YouTube page. Hit the subscribe button so you know when we're live.
And the
all
little dingy
updates
bell.
we have.
Little dingy bell.
The little dingy bell.
Don't forget
Yeah.
the dingy bell, because the dingy bell is what lets you know that we're live, that we
Yeah.
posted a new video.
I like all of your technical terms.
The dingy bell,
The
yeah.
dingy bell.
Yeah, it is. It's the technical term.
It's
But
the
it also,
technical
like
term.
Eric Russell does a lot of work. Sometimes he pulls the sermon out just so you can, just experience that portion or experience it again, while you're on your jog or while you're, making live edge furniture or whatever
Yeah.
you're doing. And, it's pretty awesome. So you're not going to want to miss those things.
Yeah.
We also sometimes post other content. So subscribing and hitting the dingy bell
Yeah.
will make sure that you don't miss anything.
Jen Bryan's asking grad vid. We were going to play the compilation video.
Oh.
It's posted on our
It's posted
interwebs.
It's posted on the
everywhere.
interwebs. If we can get it, we'll play it at post.
Post
So
service?
We'll try to get it for post
Yeah,
service.
we'll
But that
play
is
it
a
for
great
post
idea,
service.
Jen.
It
Thanks
is a great idea.
They did an awesome thing for the graduates, and we'll get that.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, if you want to check out the video before the post service, you can check out our Instagram or Facebook. It's posted in
Yep.
different places. And it was a good time.
It was.
I saw the video. I was not there, but I saw the video and I saw all the different dance moves that were happening.
Some dance moves, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, some dance moves. I think you see a lot of people very excited. A lot of our students very excited.
Very excited for the train that you and I almost gave away because no one told us it was supposed to be a surprise.
I
So
think
that morning in the live stream, we kept almost saying it and then getting yelled at by Andrew, but yet no one said, hey, don't say this on the live stream.
I said it on the live stream, and Andrew gave me this look like.
Yeah. Yeah,
funny.
it's usually the look that I get from my wife when I say things that I'm not supposed to.
Yeah,
But yes, last week it was Andrew.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, we'll have that grad video. So stick around. You're not going to want to miss that. That'll be at the post service. We got some great worship today. Matt and Miriam Fugere are in the house.
Yes.
Singing some amazing. So they sound
Renew
really, really
Milton.
good. I don't normally compliment Matt just out of principle, but they sound really, really good, and it's mostly Miriam's fault. So we're really excited to have them today.
Yeah.
Leading some worship. And
Yeah, Pastor Bartley's helping him out.
yeah, so sing loud, and give them some a positive attention and really lean into it. It's going to be awesome. So
Yeah. You could be singing in your backyard, loud
just wake
and
up
proud.
the neighbors. They're
Watch
not doing
a live
anything.
stream in your shade.
That's right. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful, beautiful day.
Well, we are going to take a quick break here. Don't go away. We're going to come back, and we'll have more for our service. And so you got 1 more minute
Yeah.
to share and to send this to a friend or family member who you want to check out this video with. So
Check it
we'll
out.
see you in a bit.
See ya. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Renew Church live stream this morning. Today is going to be great. We just have a few announcements to get through at the beginning of our service before we jump into things. Hey, this morning we're continuing our Helpless series, When the Culture of Self-Help Hurts. And Pastor Andrew is bringing the message this morning, and he's talking about the mantra, surround yourself with positive people. It kind of goes with this idea of getting rid of toxic people in your life and kind of looking at maybe some of the good things that we can kind of get out of that, but also maybe some of the hurtful things or the wrong directions that can send us in, and kind of looking at the biblical response to it. So I encourage you that if you know anybody that this topic might interest or might be beneficial for, share the stream with them right now, because in just a few minutes, we're going to kick off the message after just a few elements in the service. It's going to be kind of close up or early in the service, so I can encourage you to share the stream as soon as possible with anybody who you may think wants to watch along with you. We also have, we sent out an email to Renew Group leaders this past week, and in that email, there's a link to a survey. It's 4 quick questions for you to answer so that we know kind of what's going on with Renew Groups this summer, what your plans are, and to kind of figure out maybe how to best resource you guys as well. So if you're a Renew Group leader, I encourage you to look for that email, click the link, just fill out the survey real fast. It'll give us, our staff, great information to kind of know how to work with Renew Groups during this season as we move into the summer months. And if you didn't get the email and you're a Renew Group leader, please email us, mail@renewchurch.ca, and we'll get you that link as soon as possible. So, look for the link if you're a new group leader. Click on it. Please just fill it out real fast. It won't take that long at all. It's just 4 quick questions. On Thursday nights during our midweek connection live stream services, we are moving into the book of Jude. We finished out the book of Jonah. We did communion last Thursday, which was great. Hopefully you got to join in with us. We had lots of people tuning in with us on YouTube. Despite our technical difficulties on Facebook, we still had lots of people viewing with us and participating in communion. So it was a really great time. So next time we do communion, hopefully you guys can join with us, and you guys encourage people who are, if you were there, inviting them to be with you. And then this Thursday, we are starting into the book of Jude. Pastor Eric's going to be kicking us off with the message, the first few verses in the book of Jude, and continue. Or I encourage you to join with us, and again, to invite people that you know that should be with us on Thursday nights, and doing the backyard kind of live stream services, utilizing that group of 10 rule as you feel comfortable, getting people together to watch the live streams with you. I encourage you guys to do that. We have GCBI coming up this fall. So as you guys know, we have a Bible school that we run. It's a 9-month Bible program called the Great Commission Bible Institute. We're taking applications for the fall. So if you know any people that just graduated high school, any young adults that are looking for something to do for a year, there's nothing better than studying the Bible for 8 months and getting some relevant training, some leadership training. And we always say that this isn't just for people who may want to be in ministry. This is something we would encourage any young person to do that has the time and has the ability to do it. Take a gap year out of school, out of your other education, and just kind of jump in to do it. There's no better foundation for somebody than to have the foundation of the scriptures. No matter what you're doing, what your plans are for your life, this will set you up well for it. With everything going on with coronavirus, we know that there's kind of different things happening with school plans for the fall with universities, and maybe you're in a position where you're not sure what you're doing this fall. Well, we're going to be running GCBI. We're going to be open, and so we would encourage you to take a look at that. So go to our website, gcbinorth.com. Take a look at what we have. Fill out an application. We would love to connect with you. Hey, at Renew, we're a part of a bigger fellowship called the Charis Fellowship in North America. And typically, we have a summer conference that happens. And that's kind of been put off because of everything that's happening with coronavirus. But what we're doing is we're having a 1-hour, all-inclusive live stream called We Are One. It's going to be happening July 26th at 6 p.m. And everybody is invited to watch. So this live stream is taking place of our our annual conference, and you're going to hear from various voices from around our fellowship. It's going to be you're going to hear worship from different people around our fellowship, so it would be a great time to connect with your larger family. And there's really been no better time to do it than right now, because usually you had to travel or you had to spend money, but now you just have to turn on your computer, jump on the live stream, and you get to connect with our larger family, the Charis Fellowship. So I encourage you to put that in your calendar and make it a point to join in. So that's July 26th, 6 p.m. We are one live stream service. Hey, we've been mentioning the coronavirus and different things going on. We just want you guys to know that as a church, as a staff, as an elder team, we really are praying and thinking through how to best move forward, what our next steps are. Some of those things were kind of relegated to the information that we get from the government and the different phases that they released, and we're also kind of relegated to where our church is at and who we are, because we're a church of 4 locations that rent different various buildings, and we don't own buildings. We have kind of mobile services, and so we're kind of relegated to the different things that are happening right now. But we are praying through, we are thinking through, we are spending a lot of time of trying to put our church in a position to kind of take the next best step. And so we're hoping that very soon that we're going to be able to kind of offer you guys a plan, that we're going to say, hey, here's the plan that we're going to have moving forward. And obviously it's going to be subjected to kind of the ebbs and flows of the season that we're in right now. But just so we want you guys to know that we are thinking through those things, we are paying attention to those things. And as soon as we have the information that we need from the government and we know exactly what we can do, we're going to let you guys know. But for right now, we know that we can meet in groups of 10. We know that we can kind of get together in the proper ways as you guys feel comfortable, and we can connect with each other that way. So if you're if comfortable with it, we're encouraging you guys to invite a family over from the church in your backyard and hang out and watch the Sunday morning live stream, or watch the Thursday night live stream, or just get together and pray with each other and be missional. So those families that you know that you wanted to invite to church, hey, invite them over on a Thursday night or on a Sunday morning in your backyard and be missional with those families. So we know we can do those things right now, and as you guys feel comfortable, we don't want to make people do things that they're not comfortable with, but as you feel comfortable, we invite you guys to take up those opportunities. So with all that said, we're going to move into our kids element this morning. We have a short video about friendship, and just so you know, if you don't know, renewchurch.ca, you can find all of our kids curriculum posted there. So if you have kids in the home and you want help discipling them and want to kind of move through our kids curriculum, please go to our website, find that, and utilize it in your homes, and take a look at this video.
Mailbag. Welcome back to another episode of Mailbag, where I read the questions that you guys have sent in. If you had to choose between being a sock or a chair, which would you be? Interesting question. Well, the good thing about being a sock is that they come in pairs. So I definitely would have someone to talk about how smelly our owner's feet were. At least until one of us got lost in the laundry. But maybe that would be better than someone's butt in my face all the time. No! So I would say sock. Fiona asks, who is your best friend in the whole wide world?
Oh, that's an easy answer. It's obviously me. I mean, I'm cool, we have all the same hobbies,
Hold on. What makes you so sure about that? I help Micah with his homework, I keep him out of trouble, and I'm overall a better influence on his character, which makes me the better friend.
Better influence? Well, I'm more fun.
Hey now, there's no need to argue. You're both my best friends.
Yeah, right.
What do you mean, yeah, right?
Come on, Micah. We all know you can't have more than one best friend.
So which one is it, Micah? Me or Lydia?
Well, my best friend is, Jesus.
That is not
come
fair.
on. That's the Sunday school answer.
Well, let's look at what the Bible says. John 15, verse 12 to 15 says, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for the servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, for all that I have heard from my Father I have made known to you. Jesus laid down his life for us and took our sins away. I think that makes Jesus the best friend you could ask for. Plus, he can walk on water, raise the dead, make the blind see, the deaf hear.
Okay, we get it. Jesus is pretty cool.
That seems like a legitimate answer.
Now that we've got that sorted out, I'm wondering.
Who's your second best friend?
It's me.
No, I'm the second best friend.
I'm the most secondest best friend there is.
I'm nicer.
I'm cooler.
I'm smarter.
I think
I've
it's
got
time
glasses.
to see some
That's
fan
gotta
art.
count for something.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I can do a handstand. Whoa!
That's a cool drawing. Hey, that's me.
Neat.
That's cool.
Wow. Send me your question at micahsupervlog.com. That's it for now. See you next time.
Check. Yep. All right. Apologize for those technical difficulties. Our sound went out for just a minute, but we're back up now. Hey, we want to read from 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 16 through 21 before we jump into the message this morning, if you would follow along with me. It says this: "So from now on, we regard no one from a worldly point of view. Though we once regarded Christ in this way, we do so no longer. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here. All this is from God, who reconciled us to himself through Christ and gave us the ministry of reconciliation. That God was reconciling the world to himself in Christ, not counting people's sins against them, and he has committed to us the message of reconciliation. We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making his appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God." Will you pray with me as we jump into the message? God, thanks for today. Thanks for who you are. Again, as always, thanks for this technology, even with all the different bugs and sometimes failures, just the ability to be able to stay connected with each other during the season. I'm praying for all the people that are tuning in with us this morning. Pray for all of our hearts, God, that you would speak to them this morning, that you would give us open hearts, open ears, to be moved and directed by you, by your word. Let us get out of this message what you want, and let us move and act upon it in the ways that you want us to. We love you. We thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Well, welcome back to our Helpless series. We've been doing this for a few weeks now. We're continuing on this morning. My name is Andrew. I'm one of the pastors here at Renew Church. And I'm excited to teach this morning on another mantra, a self-help mantra that a lot of us are familiar with. Just to back us up a little bit, we've been talking about this self-help stuff for a couple of reasons. And one of the primary reasons is because we see a lot of good that comes out of the self-help movement, some of the good that comes out of self-help culture. But what we've also seen, at least in our experience, is that sometimes the whole self-help stuff actually ends up hurting people a little bit more than it actually helps them. Pastor Wade opened up our series a few weeks ago, and I would suggest after this you go back and you watch that. I think he did an excellent job framing the conversation that we want to have this morning. And one of the things that Pastor Wade said was that we actually value self-help when it's in reference to self-care. We actually believe in that. It's a very biblical thing. It's a good thing, and we encourage that. And so self-help, self-care can be a really, really positive thing, and so we don't demean that or downplay that. But he also said that sometimes when we focus a little bit too much on the self, it ends up hurting us. It can be anti-help. It can leave us helpless or make us be harmful to us, make us feel vulnerable. I was thinking last week, I was wrestling with some stuff myself as I was prepping, and I was thinking about this stuff, and I know for myself that this stuff really does affect me. I'm the kind of personality that loves to take in a bunch of different content all the time, and what ends up happening to me in my life is I learn one thing, or I listen to one thing, or I read some principle in a book, and then I get so excited about it, and I think that's the thing that has to change, and I'm going to change it now, and it's going to be great. It's going to change my life. And then that vigor and that passion lasts a week, and it's not that passion and vigor drops off the map. It's that I actually just learn something else, or I take in something new, or I read another book, or I listen to another podcast that's emphasizing something else. And so what I end up doing is I put that thing that I originally came to on the back burner, and I pick up this new thing. And then what ends up happening over time is I've got all these self-help projects. It's like the kind of guy who's renovating his house, and he's half done his whole house, but his whole house is never done. And I just find myself in these places where it actually ends up leaving me miserable. It leaves me stressed. It leaves me insecure, feeling like I can't gain victory in anything. I can't grow in any way. I just feel like I'm in the same spot I've always been because I'm not finishing any projects. And Pastor Wade actually mentioned that that's one of the worst parts of the self-help culture, is constantly going after something new. He actually quoted this. He said, we're living in an age of perfectionism, and perfectionism is actually what kills us. And there's another quote he said, people are suffering and dying under the torture of the fantasy self that they're failing to become. And I don't know, there's not many more quotes that describe me as a 29-year-old who loves this kind of stuff, who really is into the self-help stuff than that. I'm suffering and dying under the torture of the fantasy of the self that I'm constantly failing to become. And I wonder if that's actually you as well. And if it is, I think that this morning and this whole series is actually going to be helpful and interesting to you. Pastor Wade framed the conversation in three lenses. The first lens was that self-help focuses a little bit too much on the self, and I believe that that's true. He also said that it buys into the myth of control. There's an assumption with self-help that you actually have control over a lot more that you may not actually have control over. And the third thing he said is that self-help often leaves God out of the picture. And as a Christian church, we don't think that's always the most helpful thing to do. We want to bring everything to a worldview that includes a God who changes things. And so this morning, we're continuing that series, and today we're discussing the topic of, or the mantra of surround yourself with positive people. That's what we're saying this morning. Surround yourself with positive people. And we're going to look at this mantra. We're going to see what's good about it. We're going to see what's bad about it. We're going to see what's helpful, and we're going to see what's unhelpful. And then we'll end today just looking at the Jesus ethic. We really do want to look at everything through the lens of what we think Jesus, how Jesus would look at it. And so we're going to jump in this morning. We're talking about the mantra of surround yourself with positive people. And the idea is that if you surround yourself, or you have this mentality that you're constantly going to invite people into your life that are positive influences on you, that have good things to bring to your life, then that's actually what's going to be best for you. You've heard this mantra said in a few different ways. Maybe you've heard it said like this: surround yourself with better people than you to make you better. Maybe you've heard it in the context of the business world or the marketplace or the corporate world. They would say things like success breeds success, and if you want to be successful, then you'll need to surround yourself with people who are more successful than you. In relationships or in a spiritual sense, we maybe have heard it taught in church or in youth group or in Sunday school that in order to be a more moral person, to make good choices, then we should spend most of our time with people who are moral and make good choices. And maybe you've heard it said like this: be the type of, maybe you've heard it said like this, cut out toxic people. Have you heard that before? I hear that all the time now. It feels like there's this common trend that people are saying, hey, if you got toxic people in your life, you need to cut them out because they're not healthy for you. They're not good for you. Just cut them right out, and that's ultimately what's best for you. I remember in youth group, I don't know if anybody else did this exercise in youth group, but when I was in youth group, there was an exercise that we would do that would show a picture of this. And what they would do in our youth group is they would pick the tallest, strongest boy in the group, which usually was me, and they would say, stand up on a chair. And so I'd stand up on a chair or a box, and then they would find kind of the smallest, shortest, kind of quote-unquote weakest person in the room, and they would have them stand beside me on the floor. And what they would challenge me to do is to try to lift that person up from the floor onto the chair. At the same time, they would challenge the person on the floor to try to pull me down to the floor level with them. And it was this picture of it's a lot easier for negative people to pull you down than it is for you as a positive person to pull people up. And so the idea is if you're surrounded constantly by people who are on the ground and you think you're doing them a service by helping them up, most of the time they're probably pulling you down. And I think there's some truth to that. I think that we've experienced that in our lone life. I know I've experienced that. It's partly true, and I would actually suggest this morning that it's even partially biblical. And we're going to look at that a little bit this morning. Check out some of these wisdom sayings in the book of Proverbs. This is ancient wisdom, like 3,000 years old, that people use today still. Look at this. Proverbs 13:20, it says, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. And that's an ancient proverb that we believe in. It's in the Bible. So it says, look, surround yourself with wise people if you want to be wise. If you hang out with fools, it's going to hurt you, and it's not going to help you very much. So don't do that. The other proverb here says, Proverbs 27:17, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. The idea there is that you're ultimately going to become like the people who are around you. They're either going to sharpen you in one way or another way. That's what's going to happen. And so if you want to grow and become wise and become smart and become successful and be sharpened in the right way, you need to be around a bunch of iron that's going to get you there. Otherwise, the people are going to lead you to become a person that you don't want to be. And so these are biblical principles. These are biblical truths. Surround yourself with positive people. Here's something from the New Testament. It's 1 Corinthians 5:11. This is the Apostle Paul, and he's writing to the church in Corinth. He says, but now I'm writing to you that you must not associate with anyone who claims to be a brother or sister, but is sexually immoral or greedy, an idolater or slanderer, a drunkard or swindler. Don't even eat with such people. This is Paul, and we know Paul loves people, and we know Paul wrote so much stuff about unity and hanging out with sinners, and he followed Jesus, and he encouraged that. But he's even saying here, look, don't associate with certain people, especially if they claim to be a brother or sister, if they're going to continue to live a negative life, a toxic life. And so you can almost sum this up, or some would sum this up, and they would say something like, cut out deceitful and toxic people from your life. And they would say, look, it's biblical. It's right there. In Galatians 5:9, it says this, a little leaven leavens the whole lump. And the idea there is that just a little bit of leaven in the dough actually leavens the entire thing. And so if there's a little bit of negativity in the community, it actually hurts the whole community. Paul's saying this in reference to bad teaching, false teaching in a church. And he says, look, you need to get that stuff out of there because it actually affects everyone around you. So it seems as though this is not totally an anti-biblical idea. It seems like Paul himself and some of the ancient Proverbs would suggest that we should surround ourselves with positive people. We should cut out toxicity, negative and bad, and we should invite in good. See, there's sincere wisdom in this mantra, and all the mantras that we're talking about, there's sincere wisdom in them. There's truth to them. There's lots of truth in them, and so we don't want to write them off like we said. But are there problems with it as well? How far can we take it? Is it going to leave us in a helpful, healthy place if we follow it to its logical end? Or if we aren't wise about it, is it going to leave us in a weird spot that isn't all that helpful, that's actually hurtful? Let me ask you a couple questions. Something that we've been liking to do is on these Sunday mornings is do a self-audit. We've been encouraging people to look within and think about these things a little bit deeper. So here's some self-audit questions for you in regards to this mantra of surround yourself with positive people. Let me ask you this. How do you know that you're not the toxic person that people should cut out of their life? What makes you assume that you're not the toxic person, that you are the positive person? And let me ask you this, if you were, or they considered you that, how would that actually make you feel? What about this? What makes you think that you're positive enough to be in the presence of other positive people who are trying to live out this mantra? You see, if they're more positive than you, then they shouldn't be surrounded by you. So what makes you think you're positive enough to be around them? And is that fair to you? I think this is a better question. Is it even responsible to categorize people into positive and negative, or positive and toxic? Are there really positive people and toxic people, and everybody fits into one of those two categories? Is that responsible? Is that a responsible way to think about people? Let me ask you this. Can negative people ever change? Have you ever seen a quote-unquote toxic person actually change into something positive? If that can happen, then how would that ever happen if they're relegated to the negative people, to the toxic people? How can we see people actually change? I also wonder, what constitutes a positive person? Is it a person who never tells you you're wrong? Is it a person who never challenges your perspective or your worldview? Is it a person who's always affirming and always encouraging and never suggests that something might need to change? Is that what we think about positive? Sometimes I think that's what we think of as positive. We think of that's the most loving thing, is don't challenge anybody or suggest anything otherwise. But is that good for you? Do you actually believe that? Is positive always the most helpful? You see, I've seen some of the most positive people in my life be the most hurtful people in my life. The quote-unquote positive people who just allow people to continue to hurt them, the most positive people who allow people to continue to live in a way that's actually not helpful to them, and they enable behaviors that are actually not that helpful for other people. And so how do we think of this positive, negative worldview and how people fit into it? Is the truth always what's most positive? Or does it feel positive? I think it's helpful to take it back to what Pastor Wade addressed in week 1 as one of the primary problems with self-help culture. Wade brought it back and he kind of suggested that most of self-help is just straight up selfishness. And I think when we think about this mantra itself, it isn't anything more than just utter selfishness, isn't it? Think about it this way. You get to determine who's positive. Right? So you can choose that, and then you get to pick who you spend your time with. And the whole point of doing that is for you. Does that not just utter selfishness? Like, why do you deserve that right over somebody else? At Renew Church, we genuinely believe in centering everything that we do in all of our teachings on the example of Jesus. We believe that. We're a church, and we're unashamed about that. We believe that Jesus is the true north. We believe that he's the one we follow. We believe that he is wisdom personified. We believe that he is God in flesh. And so this morning, where I want to take us is towards the teachings of Jesus and see how Jesus may have thought about this, or how Jesus may have lived his life out in regards to the people he decided to spend his time with, who Jesus surrounded himself by. And there's 3 principles, I think, that are connected to some of these texts that we're going to look at this morning. The Jesus principle number 1 that I think we see very clearly in the teachings of Jesus. Don't make blanket judgments of people. Don't make blanket judgments of people. People are not to be categorized into negative and positive, into toxic or positive. People are more than that. They're more nuanced than that. We see this teaching in Matthew 7, 1-5. Check this out. It says, "Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured against you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, 'Let me take that speck out of your eye,' when all the time there is a plank in your own eye?" Jesus says, "You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you'll be able to see clearly enough to remove the speck from your brother's eye." These are the words of Jesus. This is what Jesus is saying. This is what Jesus is suggesting here. And so before we start making some sweeping conclusions and generalizations about people and categorizing them, I think the Jesus thing to do would be to stop and take a long, really hard, fairly sincere, and honest look at ourselves. You can go ahead and pull out that accountability mirror and stare at it for a while. Jesus calls us to do that first, and probably first, second, and third before we start categorizing people in a certain way and living out the simple mantra of surround yourself with positive people. The second thing that I think Jesus would suggest, and this is the Jesus principle number 2, is that the negative you're trying to cut out is often internal, not external. Let me say that again. The negative in your life, the toxic in your life that you feel needs to be cut out is probably, or at least most of the time, it's internal. It's not external. Check out what Jesus says in Mark 7, 20-23. He says this. He went on, "What comes out of a person is what defiles them. For it is from within, out of a person's heart, that evil thoughts come. Sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, lewdness, envy, slander, arrogance, and folly. All these evils come from inside a person, and they defile a person." You see, the people you're surrounding yourself with may not be helping your cause. They may not be supporting the change that you need in your life. They may be contributing to it being more difficult for you to actually grow in the way that you're called to grow, to overcome the sin in your life. But once again, Jesus says, look, grab that accountability mirror and stare at it for a long time. You see, if you lack self-discipline, it's not because the people you're surrounded by lack self-discipline. It actually comes from within you. If you keep stumbling upon sinful habits, that's because your own heart is corrupt and your lifestyle choices are not healthful. They're hedonistic. That's from within, my friends. That's not because your friends live that way. If you can't keep up with your neighbors, if you're looking across the street at your neighbors, the Joneses, and they have all these nice things, they got the new car, they got the addition to the house, they've got the nice pool, they've got all this stuff, and you're going into debt just to keep up with those next to you, guess what? It's not because you live next to the Joneses. It's not their fault. It's actually from within. It's your own greed. It's your own jealousy. It's your own envy. It's from within. The scalpel may not need to be applied to the company that you're surrounded by. It may actually need to be applied to you. At least that's what Jesus would suggest based on his teachings here. And the Jesus principle number 3, toxic people help you live out your true purpose and calling in life, which is to selflessly serve others and expect nothing in return. This is a Jesus principle. This is, I think, how Jesus would think about this. Check this out in Luke 14, 12-14. It says, "Then Jesus said to his hosts, when you give a luncheon or a dinner, do not invite your friends, your brothers, or your sisters, your relatives, or your rich neighbors. If you do, they may invite you back, so you will be repaid. But when you give a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed. Although they cannot repay you, you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous. See, what Jesus is saying here is surrounding yourself with all sorts of people who have everything to bless you with and all sorts of ways to benefit you. It may help you get ahead here for a little bit, but it's not going to help you in the future, and it's not going to help you fulfill your calling by God to live selflessly. What Jesus is teaching here is he's showing us that when you are going to bless people and you're going to invite people into your home and you're going to plan events, he's saying, think about the people who can give nothing back to you. Think about the negative people. Think about the toxic people. Think about the people who are broken and who are weary and who are sad, whose life has been way more difficult than yours, who don't have anything to offer you in return, who won't invite you to their banquet. They don't have a home to even host you. They don't have a beautiful backyard for you to come to watch the live stream in, but invite them. They got nothing to give you back. But Jesus, that's where true riches are going to be found. He says, surround yourself with people who God has called you to care for and to serve. I want you to think about this for a second as we come to a close here. Think about Jesus. Imagine Jesus lived out this mantra. Imagine Jesus, the God of the universe, lived out this mantra, and imagine his standard of positivity. The reality is, how well would that go for you? Would you be in Jesus' circle? Would Jesus surround himself with you if Jesus lived this out? It's actually what makes the gospel the most beautiful story in the world. The story of the gospel is that Jesus is the king of the universe, is the God of the universe, and he stepped down from everything he had. He made himself man, and we read even this morning, he made himself lower than the sinners so that you can actually be a part of Jesus' circle. See, Jesus, perfect positivity, everything good, nothing toxic, the standard. He not only stepped down to hang out with you and I, not only stepped down to surround himself with toxic, negative, broken people, he even went a step further. The story is that Jesus actually gave his own life, paid the ultimate sacrifice on the Roman cross, shed his blood, his body was broken, and experienced death so that you can hang out with the positive people, so that you, the broken one, the toxic, the destructive, can actually hang out with God, that you can be called a friend and a child of the living God. That's what the story of the gospel is. And that's what Jesus did for you. At Renew, we are convinced of a couple things. We are convinced that you, everybody, needs consistent and healthy community through regular participation in church community. We believe that everybody should be a part of a Renew group. We believe everybody should be surrounded by quote-unquote positive community, positive people. We believe that. We call you to that. And you may need more of that in your life. You may need to step into the good community that is there for you, the positive people to surround you, especially if you're in a season of life where things are a lot harder, especially if you find yourself struggling with getting ahead. That's what people are supposed to do for one another, and we believe that. Everybody's called to that. But we're also convinced at Renew Church at the exact same time that you are called to emulate Jesus' example of spending time with the least of these. The toxic in our communities are often just the most broken people. The toxic in our communities are usually the ones who are hungry and you're supposed to feed. They're the ones who have abuse in their life and they just need love and care from healthy, strong people. These are the extra grace required people. These are the people who are hard sometimes to spend time with. They're the ones who sometimes talk a lot in a group setting and might frustrate you. They're the ones who may not have the filter and may say some crazy things. They're the ones who are on the far right or the far left politically, and we all look at it and go, what are you thinking? What is your problem, dude? You frustrate and bother me so much. They're the annoying, they're the rude, they're the ignorant, they're the insensitive, they're the angry, they're the depressed. These are the people that actually Jesus, our Lord and Savior, calls us to spend our time with and surround ourselves with. You see, at Renew Church, we believe we need to be a community that is being transformed by the grace of God in the context of healthy community, and at the same time, through the transformation of our lives, we're actually able to lead others towards that same transformation and that same love. That's what we're called to. And so when I think about the mantra of surround yourself with positive people, I kind of want to just drop one word. I want to drop positive. Surround yourself with people. You're called to surround yourself with positive, healthy, responsible, wise people. And you're also called to surround yourself with broken, hurting, negative, and toxic people. And you need both in balance to live out your true calling, to get the most meaning and purpose from your life, to see the most impact used from your life. You see, you need them and they need you.
Thanks, Pastor Andrew. That was a really powerful message. I was just really struck with the fact that that question that he asked of what would it look like if Jesus lived this out? And it's a really sad ending. Basically, we would be stuck where we were at if Jesus hadn't loved us enough to engage with us in a relationship that's meaningful, that's powerful, and that results in community. Guys, as we just kind of go into a time of singing praise and singing our worship towards God, I just want to invite you to pray with me. And we're just going to take a second and go to the Lord and really engage His presence this morning. And I'm asking you to just, close your eyes and just kind of center yourself here for a second as we transition into some singing. Lord Jesus, thank you. Thank you that you loved us enough to come to this earth. Lord, you came to the broken and the needy and the uncomfortable relationship and the fractured friendship and the annoyingness of your neighbors and your friends and your coworkers. You came into all that, the mess of us. And Lord, what you declared was that you were the light, and you shared that light with us, that we understood a little bit of who you are in your essence and who we were created to be. Lord, I just pray for our church. I pray that we would take the mantle of responsibility of being that light seriously. Lord, I pray that you would keep us up at night thinking of the people in our neighborhood, the people at our workplace that need you so bad. That brokenness is written all over their hearts, all over their lives. Lord, I pray that we would resist the temptation to huddle up into our little groups of people where we're always comfortable and we're always satisfied and we're always, having a good time. And Lord, I pray that we would have the courage to open our horizon, to broaden that sphere, to welcome people who really need that community. Lord Jesus, we thank you that you are our God. Lord, we thank you that you have called us to something so much greater than we could ever ask or imagine. Lord, you've called us into relationship with you and relationship with other people. It's as simple as that. So we give you glory this morning. We give you praise. We worship you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Good morning, Renew Church. My name is Matt. Miriam here on my right, and happy to be with you guys this morning, just singing and worshiping God together. Wherever you are, in your living room, in your patio, just crank that volume up and sing with us. We're going to sing a couple older songs today. We'll start with this one from the year early 2000, God of Wonders. Let's sing together. 1200, just declaring all of us for all of the creation to just lift up our voices and praise Him. All creatures and all creatures of our God and King, lift up your voice and with us sing. Oh, praise Him, hallelujah. And thou silver with golden beams, and thou silver moon with softer gleam. Oh, praise Him, oh, praise Him, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. And thou rushing wind that art so strong, ye clouds that sail in heaven along. Oh, praise Him, hallelujah. Thou rising morning, praise rejoice. Ye lights of evening, find a voice. Oh, praise Him, oh, praise Him, hallelujah, hallelujah, and let all things their Creator bless, and worship Him in humbleness. Oh, praise Him, hallelujah. Praise, praise the Father, praise the Son, and praise the Spirit, three in one. Oh, praise Him, oh, praise Him, hallelujah, 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 oh, hallelujah, hallelujah, Thank you.
Thanks, Matt and Miriam and Pastor Bartley for leading us in some worship. It's always great to hear those guys sing. We're going to continue worship in just a moment. We just kind of wanted to talk through the message a bit.
Yeah.
One of the things that struck me is this message, out of all the ones that we went through, kind of speak to why we need to be committed to the church, because it's such a nuanced thing, right? Don't surround yourself with toxic people. Well, for sure, that sounds positive in a certain sense, but it's also can be bad too, right? And actually being committed to God's word and His community, the church, helps us navigate that the best as possible. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was definitely struck with, and they're so such a tangible result of living out kind of the adjusted mantra that Pastor Andrew was sharing of surrounding yourself with people, right? And from a gospel center, he kind of delivered that message of just, if if we're only surrounding ourselves with positive people, with people that agree with us or people that make us feel comfortable, we never have the opportunity, to be light in someone else's life, or we never have the opportunity to be the toxic person that needs to sort of, be challenged in the way that we think or in the way that we act or in, the way that we're growing as a believer or even as a non-believer.
Because the truth is, as Pastor Andrew pointed out, the gospel says we're all toxic people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're all sinners, and we all need him. We all need his grace.
Amen.
And the fact that we think that we're better than people misses the whole boat, right? The only reason I'm at where I'm at is because of Jesus. It's not because of me.
Yeah. Right.
And so we want to throw a couple things out for you. And the first thing is if you're surrounded by people who aren't helping you or hurting you, and you need to kind of gravitate more towards a positive community, we're going to challenge you to push into that. And the way we do that here at our church is through Renew groups. It's through community from the church.
Yeah.
And the church is a family that God gives you to help you with this. All right? The Bible talks about it in the sense that we need to surround ourselves with people who love Jesus, want to follow him, love his word, because this is what helps us down the road. Like those people that say, "Oh, well, I don't need church, I don't need organized religion." People put it in that thing. Well, no, you only need Jesus for your salvation, but God gives you gifts to help live this life. And one of the things is community. The way we think of positive community is through church community. It's his family, and we need that to move forward. And so if that's not in your life, we're going to encourage you to push towards that. If you're not making that a priority, it needs to be a priority. The family that God gives you should be a priority in your life, and if it's not, and you're a Jesus follower, that's a problem. The church, the community God gives you needs to be a priority in some way in your life. Please email us, or better yet, go to our Connect page, renewchurch.ca/connect, and fill out the form and just put in the message box. Hey, I need this, or I'm looking more for this, or I need to be held accountable in this, or how do I get this? You guys can fill that out. Right?
Yeah, and I really encourage you guys to do that. Do it right now. Like, why wait? If you felt moved by the Spirit of God to sort of chase after this in your life, and you need to grow in this, like just do it now. And like Pastor Wade was saying, it's such an amazing.
Pastor Andrew, that's okay.
No, I was talking about you.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
All right.
As Pastor Wade was saying, it's such an important part of who we are as the church.
Yeah.
And it's such an important part of what we do here at Renew Church. And so, I again would encourage you to do that.
Yeah.
And we love you guys. Hey, we're gonna.
The second thing, real quick before we jump in, if you're somebody who thinks you got it all together and you're just surrounded by the quote-unquote successful people or the people who aren't hurting you, right? We're going to encourage you to move towards people that you can serve. Yeah. And again, it's not because you're better than anybody. We know because of Jesus that we're not better than anybody.
Yeah.
But we're called to serve people.
Right.
And so just like Jesus hung out with the tax collectors and the prostitutes and the sinners, right? Like, we're called to hang out with people that we can serve. We're called to do both. Hang out with the people who are going to help us move in the way of Jesus, and we're called to hang out with people we can serve. And if you think you have it all together, you think your community isn't unhealthy, chances are it's probably unhealthy in some way, right? Because you think you're perfect and that.
For sure.
But if you are convicted that you need to be helping or hanging out with people that you can serve more, we want you to connect with us as well. So go to the Connect page, fill out that box and say, hey, I know that I need to hang out with people that I can serve, or I know that I need to be serving people better and surrounding myself, putting myself in a position for that. We want to connect with you about that.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Yeah, now I ask you guys just to go ahead, turn up the TV, the volume on your TV, join with us in singing as we close our service and worship our Lord and Savior.
You're the resurrection that we've waited for. You buried the night and came with deeper the quiet, the louder the chorus. We will sing a new song, 'cause death is dead and gone with the winner. We will sing a new song, let hallelujahs flow like a river, coming back to life, reaching towards the light. Your love is like springtime.
You're the living water, God, we thirst for you. The dry and the barren will flower in bloom.
You're the sun that's shining, you restore my soul.
The deeper you call us,
Oh, the deeper we go, we will sing a new song, 'cause death is dead and gone with the winner. We will sing a new song, let hallelujahs flow like a river. We're coming back to life, reaching towards the light. Your love is like springtime.
come tend the soil, come tend the soil of my soul, and like a garden I will grow. Come tend the soil, come tend the soil of my soul, and like a garden I will grow. I will
Come tend the soil, come tend the soil of my soul, and like a garden I will grow. Come tend the soil, come tend the soil of my soul, and like a garden I will grow. I will grow. I will grow. I will grow. We will sing a new song, 'cause death is dead and gone with the winner. We will sing a new song, let hallelujahs flow like a river. We're coming back to life, reaching towards the light. Your love is like springtime. All right, that was a song by Chris Renzema, if you want to, Renzema, however you pronounce it, if you want to check him out. Great artist. He has some really, really good tunes. The youth would know a lot of his songs. We're going to finish with one last song. And before we finish with that song, some of you know I developed a bit of a love in the last few years for surfing. I'm not good at it at all. But there's something really cool about the ocean and surfing. And timing is a super important thing when you surf, and recognizing the power of the ocean and recognizing its timing. And the more you learn to do that, and the more that you surrender to the power of the ocean, the better you can catch waves and have an incredible experience. When you're trying to do it on your own and you start paddling too hard, you end up nosediving a lot of the times. And that's happened once or twice. And if you don't really watch and just do what you need to do to catch the wave, you end up sitting there and you go back home and it's like, man, the waves really suck today. But the reality is you're sitting out there really frustrated because you see dozens of really good surfers catching all the waves and you're not catching anything and you're just sitting in the back. And I say this illustration because, we've sang these songs about God's creation and how we need, we're worshiping him, we're turning our eyes towards him. He's created everything. He's a powerful, mighty God. And it's okay for us, it's needed for us to surrender to his power and to who he is. And when we do that, there's great things that could happen. And how many of us will sit back and think, man, stuff's never happening in my life. I see other Christians or people who say they believe in God and they're like surfing, they're catching something, and I'm just in the back row and nothing's happening. Or maybe you're trying too hard on your own and you just keep nosediving. And God's like, hey, when you let me, the almighty, powerful God, take control, when you surrender to me, I'm going to carry you on some pretty cool waves. And so this last song, it's an old hymn actually written by an Irish poet in the 6th century and called Be Thou My Vision. And it's a call for us to just a prayer to ask God to have him as a vision of our life and to surrender all that we have to him. And when we do that, he's got some awesome stuff in store for us.
Be thou my vision.
God, we thank you this morning for this this time that we can be together, lifting up your name, and just coming at your feet, Father, and surrendering who we are to your will. Surrendering, knowing that you are in control, that you are a very more than capable God, and who has a great plan for us and wants to do things through us. But you want us to come to you surrendered and let you do your work in our lives. So God, I just pray this morning as we conclude that our hearts would be challenged to just, from what Andrew's words, to challenge to love people and not just the ones that we want to, God, but the ones that you want to reach as well. The same way. In your name we pray, Jesus. Amen.
Man, thank you, Matt and Miriam and Bartley, for leading us in some music. I've really missed that on Sunday mornings in Milton. They've been there doing that since the start, and it really is a great experience. We get to do that.
He was just a young whippersnapper.
Yeah, boy. But yeah, we're glad that they can be here with us and share that with the whole church. Yeah. And what were you saying about they write that song?
I'm pretty sure that they wrote that bridge.
Did you write that?
Did you guys write that bridge? That's a Matt and Miriam original
special
arrangement.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
Yeah, it's so such an awesome part of our church, and so cool that we can share that.
Well, we're so thankful that you guys tuned in with us. This is the post-service. We have a few things coming up that you don't want to miss. Don't turn off your TVs right away.
No.
There's a few things coming out. There's Pies for Pastors. We're going to show the graduate video.
Yeah.
So you guys can see what we did for our Maverick Youth grads and celebrate them one more time, and then we'll mention some stuff that's coming up.
Yeah.
In just a moment. So I think the pies are on the way.
Well, let's go ahead and do because I just want to get that right off. We should that's my bad on not having.
So we're going to show you guys the Maverick Youth graduation train video of the highlight from last Sunday. Check.
Thank you to the entire Renew Church community and Maverick and everybody for supporting me through the last year and for having my back at all times through life at important milestones like graduation. I always know Renew's going to be here and I can count on them.
Let's go, bro.
Thank you so much.
I love you, man.
So some of you may have noticed that the GoPro was indeed tied to a stick.
It was tied.
And this is actually a business venture that Andrew's been trying to work out here. It's called a selfie stick.
Oh!
But it's an actual stick.
That's what's
that
up.
you just tape your GoPro to.
Yes, it's $19.99 I'm selling them for.
3 installments of $19.99. It can be yours. Anyway, we are here with the beloved and treasured.
Before we did that, I did want to say, amazing job done by Jennifer Bryan and the Maverick Youth team, led by Jake Trouton and the other.
Good call.
To do that.
Woo!
It was super cool. We were out for like 5 hours on Sunday, going from as many houses as we could to the other houses, and it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We set up every house we got there. We set up the same thing. It was super cool. So thanks for doing that. Leaders, you guys are great. And thanks for participating students. You guys are amazing. We'll miss you.
I know. Yeah, I'm going to tear up a little bit,
Yeah.
actually. Okay, so to bring us out of our sad, senior high blues, what you got for us today, Mitchie?
Well, today is the last week of our Pies for Pastors contest. Last week. So first of all, I want to thank everybody that's participated. It's been amazing. And just so you know, as normal, today I will take the scorecards after the pastors judge and give them to me, and I will take them out the front door and meet the representative from Price Waterhouse Coopers, and they will take the ballots back to their offices and deliver them by high security next week, and I will announce the winner. So you guys ready for today's pies?
We're so ready for today.
Okay, let me describe them for you
Love it.
first. The first one is, we've been waiting for this, and we finally have a key lime pie.
Oh, my fave. I love it.
And this person, trying to get a competitive advantage, put a gospel quote in their description.
Wow.
Yeah, Bible verse. Matthew 16, verse 19. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. So this person says, in addition to the kingdom keys, God gave us key limes.
He did.
Which are definitely the key to a successful pie.
Well, the only thing I think I'm loosening is my belt today.
Weren't you the pregnant guy in the pre-show?
Hey.
Sorry.
Careful.
And the second pie is Texas trash pie.
Oh.
Wow. And short and sweet is the description here. The Texas trash pie is made with a pretzel crust.
Huh.
This is a pie for the true sweet tooth.
Yum. Well,
all right.
We have two
So
and a half
here we
of
go.
those here.
All right.
So.
Yeah.
Let's have it.
Texas pie in light of July 4th holiday.
Again, we had another fridge pie, so
Amazing.
managing the timing on these is...
For those who are just tuning in, you're like, what are these guys doing? What is this? How is this church? What we've done for the last 5 weeks is we've done just this fun contest at the end of the service called Pies for Pastors. People had a chance to submit pies, and we try them, and we rate them, and there will be a winner at the end of it that we will donate to local food bank on their behalf. $250 on their behalf to a local food bank. And we really also want to just be able to share some joy through eating pies and posting pie recipes on the website. Have those been going up, those pie recipes?
They haven't been going up
Not
yet. They will, though.
They will. So after this day, we will get as many of the pie recipes as we can get up online, Renew Church website, so that you can try them yourself. And that's what
I was saying to somebody this morning, if anybody works in this complex, they've got to be wondering, because every Sunday morning, I go out, I meet somebody in the parking lot, I take a pie, they drive off, and I come back in. So this anonymous pie drop-off every week has really aroused a lot.
Like
there were a couple of squad cars out there today. They were just watching it. So, okay, guys, this is it. The other thing I was thinking is, it's up to you guys, but if you want, you could auction my apron and hat off for charity as well.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
The bidding's going to begin at $5, and you can.
Thanks.
We'll do this. Let's do that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Whoever posts the most amount of money will donate the proceeds to charity. You can be the Pies for Pastors chef. You can own this family heirloom.
You know what? I'll also throw in. I will throw in one free selfie stick.
Oh, selfie stick.
I'll throw in a selfie stick.
Wow.
So,
all right, you
the
guys.
whole
The chat's
Pie for
going
Pastors.
wild. I feel like we should be like, I hear a thing. I hear 7. It's a universal
selfie stick.
No.
Yeah, it works with any camera.
As long as you have duct tape, it'll work. Oh, I got to tell you, the key lime today was really, really solid. It's just a great execution on a classic. The trash pie, though, I thought it was going to be too rich because I don't actually have that. I'm not the sweet tooth guy that I appear to be. I thought it was going to be too rich, and it actually is great.
I haven't tried it yet.
It's a great balance. It's chewy, but
that key lime's phenomenal.
which is good.
The key lime crust is amazing.
Yeah.
The consistency is so creamy. Sometimes key lime can be a little too key limey. This is like the perfect amount of key limey.
What makes a key lime a key lime?
They're really hard to find at a grocery store. Yeah, they're tiny
They
little
only
limes.
grow in the Florida Keys?
They're like rock hard, tiny little limes that grow in the Florida Keys. Grow in the Florida Keys. And like to make one key lime pie, you gotta like use like an entire bag of these things.
Wow. Is that the only thing they're used for?
I mean, I don't. Key lime, other drinks.
Show me your other key lime using recipes. That's real good though.
Yep.
Mm.
So what do we got coming up?
Man, we got all kinds of stuff coming up. I mean, Thursday we're kicking off Jude.
New series.
New series in Jude, which is really fun. I've already kind of been diving into that book, and it's been eye-opening. I've never taught from the book of Jude.
Wow.
In over 10 years of ministry, I've never taught from the book of Jude. So this will be new for me and really, really fun.
Whoa.
And,
That's super
yeah, right? I know that Texas trash.
So unique and so tasty.
Yeah, that one's going to score pretty well, I think. But,
wow.
So we got that coming up on Thursday. You're not going to want to miss it. Be here at 8. We're going to do some worship. We're going to do some teaching. It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a great time.
Yeah. What else?
By the way, some people are asking, whoever made the key lime, can you send out where you found key limes? Because they're so hard to find.
Really?
So post in here if you made the key lime. You post it and let people know where you found those key limes, because some people want to make them. And Austin said you can pay me $5 to take the chef's hat.
We have to pay somebody to take that?
Yeah, wow. That was mean.
That's rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that person is
I like
that
a pie
person
that I
has
can eat
generously
like
donated $5 to our Pies for Pastors Fund. Whoever that is, we're expecting an e-transfer any minute.
Who's your wife?
It was my wife? Dang it.
Hand it over.
Crap. That backfired.
Yeah,
Anyway.
so, wow.
Yeah, the pies are really
That's
good.
so good.
Thank you guys who
Amazing.
participated. That was
So
really fun.
fun.
And
So good.
thanks for sticking around for the post service while we just kind of goof off and do this kind of thing. But we love you guys. Yeah, what else? Oh, we got other stuff coming up. I mean, next Sunday, we of course, come back for the live stream.
Is that our last? It's our last teaching in this series, right?
No,
Next
I think
Sunday.
Yeah.
You're teaching Pastor Bartley. Pastor Bartley's going to teach on follow your heart, which I think is going to be. I mean, we've heard some of these other mantras before, but there's nothing that I hear more than follow your heart.
Just follow your heart.
And we're gonna really expose some pieces of that mantra that work and some that don't.
It's a mantra that pretty much comes up in every speech by people who don't make speeches. You know, convocations and award ceremonies and all that stuff. Every time you hear like some Yahoo get up and accept an Academy Award, they're just like, I just want to say, follow your heart.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see if that actually is worth our
Well, if it's
time.
helpful, because I know a lot of people who follow their heart and at least like great things. I also know a lot of people who follow their heart. I'm like, don't follow that heart.
Yeah, that heart
that's
is
not the heart you want to be
dark,
following, because that's leading you to a place that ain't that fun. So yeah, we're gonna talk about it. It's gonna be great. It's definitely something that people need to hear. We need to talk about. We're gonna center on Jesus, and I think it'll help a lot of people for sure. Think about it really wisely.
We want you guys to connect with your Renew groups. If you haven't been meeting with your Renew group, just send a text to your Renew group leader or other people in your Renew group. If you're a Renew group leader, send a text to your Renew group people and say, hey. And that's it. That's all I'm requiring you to text them. Because I'm sure that it will lead to a conversation that is helpful, profitable, and helps shape you as a human being, because that's what Renew groups are all about. It's about community of God getting together, connecting with each other, being the bride of Christ, iron sharpening iron, as you mentioned this morning.
Sharpens.
It's the way that it goes, man. That's how we do it. Older men teach younger men. Older women teach younger women. This is how the body of Christ is supposed to work. And if we're stuck inside our houses playing puzzles and Nintendo Switch all the time, we never just do something. I'm getting preachy now. Sorry.
No, preach, man.
You got to do it, man. So get a hold of your Renew group.
Yeah,
if you're not a part of a Renew group, there's the link. Get involved in a Renew group.
Can I just say this too? Like, I ran into someone the other day. They follow Jesus, but they're like, yeah, my community is like this blog thing, and I'm like, I ain't good enough. It ain't good enough. And the reason why it's not good enough because you can be whoever you want to be on your social media, on your blog, whatever. Yeah. What Renew groups require you to do is like show up as you, and if you show up long enough, people see you
Yeah.
and they know you. And the best thing for you is to actually be known and loved regardless and challenged regardless and cared for regardless. But like this whole online, this is my church community over here that don't even know me, I'm not really part of. Like, no, we're not about that. We're doing all this digital stuff because it's good, it's important, we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
But it needs to push you guys to being in real community as your real self with other real people, because that's where you actually learn, that's where you grow, and that's where you're challenged accordingly, and that's where you're truly loved. So seriously, this is not enough. Show up.
You got to be authentic.
Call.
You got to be authentic. Don't be as fake as your virtual background, okay?
man.
We know you ain't in the beach. We know that.
Yeah.
Just be in your living room with all the messy clothes in the bed and all that stuff, whatever you got. Be authentic.
We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in for another Sunday morning. It was a great one. We look forward to seeing you guys again in person and on the streams in the future.
Yeah, and great job today, man.
Oh,
I wanted to wish you or just compliment you.
Thanks.
It was a great message. Give him some love in the chat. We love you guys. We'll see you on Thursday, 8 p.m.
Thursday.
for Jude.
Peace.
Yeah.